Magandang gabi sa ating lahat. Welcome to our 365 Daily Devotion, Bible Characters Edition. At ngayon, patuloy natin pag-aaralan ng ating paksa. At ang tatalakayin natin ngayong gabi ay patungkol sa kwento ni Shipra at ni Puwa. So, sabi dito, Shipra and Puwa appear briefly in Scripture. So they appear briefly in Scripture, yet their courage echoes through redemptive history. In a time when the Hebrew people were multiplying in Egypt, Pharaoh feared their growth and devised a wicked command. He ordered these two midwives to kill every Hebrew baby boy at birth. Their profession was to deliver life, but the king commanded them to destroy. They command them to destroy. So the text tells us that the defining truth of their story, they feared God. That fear was not terror but reverent submission, deep loyalty, and covenant trust. Because they feared God, they did not do as the king commanded. Their quiet obedience became a powerful resistance against tyranny. And through their faithfulness, God preserved the line that would one day bring forth Moses and ultimately Jesus Christ. So, sabi sa Exodus chapter 1 verse 17, the midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt had told them to do. So, they let boys live. So, sabi sa teachings natin, una, civil disobedience is biblical. So, Scripture teaches submission to governing authorities, yet it also reveals a higher allegiance. So, when human authority commands that what God forbids or forbids what God commands, obedience to God must prevail. So, Shipra and Puwa faced a different conflict between Pharaoh's decree and God's moral law. So, murdering innocent children was evil, and they refused to participate. So their disobedience was not rebellious chaos but holy resistance. So it was grounded in reverence for God's character. So this same principle appears later when the apostle declares in Acts chapter 5 verse 29 that we must obey God rather than men. So biblical civil disobedience is not driven by pride or politics but by fidelity to God's righteousness. So second is human protection is just an illusion. So Pharaoh was the most powerful ruler of his time. So to defy him was to risk death. Yet the midwives understood that earthly power is temporary. Kings rise and fall, but the Lord reigns forever. So the fear of man begins a snare, but whosoever or whoever trusts in the Lord is safe. So Pharaoh promised security through oppression, but his power could not override God's sovereign plan. So human systems often present themselves as ultimate protectors, yet they cannot preserve life apart from God's will. So true security does not come from political favor, so military strength or social position. It comes from standing rightly before God. So third, there is a blessing in obeying God. So the text tells us that God dealt well with the midwives. So He gave them families of their own. Their obedience did not go unnoticed. So through their names are mentioned briefly, or though their names are mentioned briefly, they are eternally remembered in Scripture. So obedience may seem costly in the moment, but it leads to lasting blessing. So these blessings is not always material prosperity, So it is the favor of God, that peace of a clear conscience, and participation in His redemptive purposes. So through obedience, or through their obedience, God preserved the people through whom salvation would come to the world. So applications natin, una, obey God rather than men. So there will be moments when cultural pressures contradicts biblical truth. So the believer must decide whose voice carries ultimate authority, So Shipra and Puwa teach us that obedience to God sometimes requires standing against powerful ones or powerful forces. So this requires courage, rooted in reverence. So we cannot stand firm publicly if we do not fear God privately. So daily devotion, prayer, and immersion in scripture cultivate the kind of heart that remains steady when pressured. No? So courage is born in worship long before it is tested in crisis. So second is to resist the illusion of trusting in people. So it is easy to look to leaders, institutions, or systems for ultimate security. No? So Pharaoh symbolized absolute authority in his day, yet his command was morally bankrupt. So the midwives saw beyond visible power and trusted in invisible God. So believers today must guard against misplaced trust. Human leaders can fail, systems can collapse, policies can change, but God's character remains constant. No? So when our confidence rests in Him, we are freed from paralyzing fear and empowered to act righteously. So third is to live under the favor of blessings of God. So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So when we live with reverence for God, our decisions align with His will. So the midwives did not seek recognition, yet God honored them. So living under God's favor means prioritizing His approval over public applause. No, it means choosing righteousness even when unseen. So over time, such obedience shapes a life marked by peace, integrity, and spiritual fruitfulness. So the greatest blessing is not comfort but communion with God. So our discussion is what principles did you learn from the story of Shipra and Puah? So the stories teach us that the fear of God produces moral clarity, courageous obedience, and lasting impact. So it reminds us that even ordinary believers, when faithful, become instruments in God's extraordinary. So let's dive deeper, no? So what are the similarities among Satan, Pharaoh, and Herod? So all three sought to destroy God's redemptive plan by targeting innocent children. No? Pharaoh ordered the death of the Hebrew boys. Herod commanded the massacre of infants in Bethlehem. Satan stands behind every attempt to oppose God's purposes. Yet in every generation, God preserves His promise. Evil schemes cannot overthrow divine sovereignty.